and welcome to another review from Colour with Claire. Today I have a book all the way from France to show you. This is called Genovia, which is the world of mysterious creatures. So we're going to see all of the inhabitants of the world of Genovia inside this book. It's very whimsical, fantastical and enchanting, this book. It's lovely. It's 25 by 25 centimetres square and it contains 40 pages of 80 illustrations. So it's a double-sided book. And I'll talk a little bit more about paper and production quality in a moment. Let's have a look inside. So the book doesn't have really much waffle at the start, it just has the title page, and I think this book belongs to, so you can write your name here and obviously colour the illustration as well, and then we're straight into it. So you'll notice that this book has a lot of running themes going through. There are a lot of girls, females, that's the main sort of thing that you'll find in the book, but there are also things like shoes and dresses and jewellery, also fairies. So if all of that appeals to you, then you should really love this book. So we've got a little shoe here, in fact, that seems to be made out of bubbles or pearls. Totally up to you how you want to colour it, of course. But all the shoes in this book seem to have created a habitat for the creatures that live in Genovia. So this is a gorgeous illustration. It's a butterfly dress made from butterfly wings, and it even looks as if the butterflies are the ones who have created the dress. It's very, very whimsical, really enchanting. I love it. So we've got another one of the ladies here, one of many that you'll find throughout the book, and they're very sort of integrated with their surroundings. So you'll find that if they seem to be from the underwater realm, they'll have a lot of seaweed and anemone and that kind of thing around them, just as this spread does here. So you can see we've got a couple of ladies, very beautifully dressed, very sort of ball gowny, and almost as if they're going to some sort of formal function, but they're in their home, they're underwater, and the dress and the clothing really does take on the characteristics of the habitat that they're living in. So here we have another shoe. This is obviously a home. We've got a couple of lovebirds perched outside and a little fairy sat on the stoop. Really, really enjoy these whimsical illustrations that make something out of something else. So yeah, this is the one that I've started, as you can see. For some reason this has turned out as a Wonder Woman type of theme. I think the colours lend itself to Wonder Woman. I didn't do that on purpose, but it's how it's turned out and it looks alright, so I'm going with it. Obviously I've not finished it yet, but really pleased with how it's looking so far, and again pleased with how the paper has taken my pencils. Did all this with Prismacolor, by the way. And yes, the paper is actually 160 GSM, so it's quite thick. It has a fairly smooth surface. There is a slight amount of tooth there, but as I've said, as you've seen, it takes pencil really, really well. So this is another couple of ladies. Another theme throughout the book is the dresses, the really elaborate decorative dresses that you'll find throughout. So if you are into colouring fashion and things like that, then I'm sure that you will love this book. So we go through a mixture of the area of Genovia, you know, the landscape of it and things like that, the little cute fairy architecture, and the shoes that make up the habitats, and the ladies that also live there. So that's kind of what you're getting all the way throughout the book. Beautiful, beautiful dresses and clothing. Lots and lots of hair and skin to colour. But again, if that's not your thing, you can kind of just play with everything else that's in the book. I know there are a lot of girls and women, but a lot of them are on a smaller scale. Like this one here, for example, you wouldn't really need to do a lot of skin colouring there, so I wouldn't worry about sort of getting contours right and things like that. Here's another beautiful shoe covered in these creeping flowers. Toadstools. We've got another couple of ladies. These are more sort of zoomed in and focused on the faces, and of course massive hair. Massively done bunches, and you know, just crazy hairstyles. So you'll have a lot of fun colouring this. I think it's not very usual, put it that way. So this has a lot of room for you to create your own background if that's something you're interested in, maybe hills and valleys, or you know, just block colour it. It's totally up to you, but there's a lot of kind of scope there for doing whatever you want. So we've got a boot this time. It seems to be made out of leaves and acorns. This is really, really cute. So this is like a woodland thing. This dress is absolutely beautiful. I find myself quite jealous, actually, of the residents of Genovia, if this is the wardrobe that they have access to, because how gorgeous is this? It almost has a jellyfish hem, which I've never seen before, but Just incredible. I love all of the detail here. So we've got a few more ladies. Again, different angles played with as well. You don't always see the front of the lady. Sometimes it's the back. This looks to be made out of grapes or berries. I think this may be another underwater one. This is kind of an Ursula character. I'm getting a lot of octopus type vibes out of this. So we've got another shoe. This one's covered in crystals and pearls. And then we've got a close-up of lady, again playing with the different angles. This is close-up, but it's more close-up on her collarbone and this kind of top of the torso area. And again, just the detail that's put in here, absolutely stunning. So this one is obviously modelled from the peacock, with peacock feathers coming out and this kind of big poofy hairstyle in the background. Absolutely gorgeous, something you would find on the catwalk, I dare say. So we've got a couple of ladies of flowers here. These seem to be just sprouting out of the flowers in these little cute bubbles. So maybe this is how you're born in Genovia. You just spring out from flowers. That'd be a lot easier, wouldn't it? Okay, so we've got another shoe. This time it's attached to a leg. So maybe someone's actually made a habitat out of someone's shoe while it's actually being worn. This looks to be some sort of, I was going to say a shell, but then it kind of looks like a trunk of a tree or something in coral. Very interesting. It's probably one of those books that until you actually start colouring it and you come across the different elements, you don't really notice a lot of the detail inside. Now this is the centre page, and as you can see it includes 50 different keys, and each key actually has a number attached to a tag on the key. Now this is kind of like your little puzzle for the book, your little mission. Now if I just look through and attempt to find a number, let's see, I know I've seen one somewhere. You come across them, here we go. So over down here, I don't know whether you can see, but there's a little number 44 there. Now what you're meant to do is, as you come across the numbers scattered throughout the illustrations, you come back to this middle page, you find the corresponding key number 44, which is, I don't know, it's somewhere on here anyway, and then you colour that key. So you'll be colouring the keys in the order that you find them. It also might be an idea to colour the key in the palette that you used on that particular page, and eventually you'll end up with 50 different coloured keys when you've found each one, and they all unlock the secrets of Genovia. So yeah, a little bit for you to do there. Obviously you don't have to if you don't want to, it's just one of those things that the author, the illustrator, has put in. So we've got a lady growing out of a shell here. How interesting. Look at all of this kind of barnacle thing that's growing on her face. We've got a really cute little fairy asleep in this, I don't know, it's kind of like a castle or the ruins of a cottage or something, and it's all been overgrown by flower and vine. This is again really, really elaborate. A lot of this style seems to be coming from pre-Victorian pre-Victorian era and things like that. But again, it really is the illustrator's kind of unique style, I think. I think it's just things that she's made up and taken from different era of, what am I trying to say? Different styles and things from over the years. So we've got a couple of homes here. Look, I don't know what they're made out of. It could even be pearls. Got another shoe, and this looks like a mirror, so just looking at her reflection there. Now we've got a really fun page, which is just a close-up of loads of mermaid tails. Again, not really an angle that I've seen before in mermaid books, so really fun and interesting one there. This is stunning. Look at this. It's almost like a see-through transparent veil that's coming down here from this massive headdress. I keep saying massive and elaborate and grand. That's kind of the words that I would use to describe the costume in this book. We've got some potion bottles or perfume bottles. There's a couple of ladies here. This one looks more tropical and exotic. This one looks a bit more wintry. A few girls here. Again, things growing out of them, plants. It's all very based in nature. So here we've got the little fairyland, it seems like. We've got flowers all over and toadstools, another shoe. This looks like a princess. I think she's got a crown. And again with the octopus theme here, that's just crazy, isn't it? Can you imagine wearing a hat like that? What else? Oh, this is kind of a little bit more darker, so it's zoomed in portraits of these females, but with very dark, heavy shading, but gorgeous hairstyles for you to tackle. This shoe is beautiful. It's obviously made out, it's almost like a castle ruin, and things have just grown onto the shoe organically. So this looks like we're in a ship or somewhere where they're going to the ball. Again with the dark lines, so we have a mixture of line thicknesses here depending on what you like, but this is very, very intricate down here at the bottom. I can't imagine colouring every single one of these flowers individually, but what a beautiful dress. It looks like a wedding dress. I can imagine that would be absolutely gorgeous when it's coloured. And then the last illustration is this little motif of feathers with what look like kind of cherry blossom flowers and maybe the moon or the sun in the background. So there you go. As I mentioned, the paper is really nice and thick, takes pencil very well. It's been really well made. It is from Etsy, so I'll leave the links in the description for where you can get this. You can also get it as a PDF. So prices at the moment are for the hard copy of the book, £19.32 or $23. And for the PDF downloadable printable version, it's £12 or $14. That's obviously for the hard copy plus the shipping on top. So really it's up to you, whatever your preference is. But it is a really, really well made book. If you want to find more from the illustrator, I'll also leave her Patreon link in the description. It's where you can get a different illustration from her every single month. And yeah, so really hope that you've enjoyed the book. Let me know what you think, and I will see you soon on Colour with Claire.